Introduction. Photoshop is Adobe's photo editing, image creation and graphic design software. Although it is used by designers and graphic artists, its main focus is as a tool for photographers. It allows us to import images in traditional digital photo formats such as JPEG, TIFF, BMP and RAW. Once in the program, we can manipulate our image, editing every detail from basic exposure and color correction to producing highly complex composites and photo merges. Photoshop is basically used for the following: creating logos, posters, banners, flyers, website designing, patterns and texture designing, touching up pictures, color correction, project layouts, graphic creations, paintings, photo manipulations. Cool fact: Adobe Photoshop was originally developed in 1987 by Thomas and John Knoll and then Adobe Systems Incorporation. Starting Adobe Photoshop CS3. To start Photoshop CS3, follow these steps. Press the Windows key from the keyboard. Type Adobe Photoshop CS3 and press the Enter key. Or double-click on the Photoshop CS3 icon from the desktop. Adobe Photoshop window. Menu bar, Options bar, Toolbox, Palettes, Drawing Canvas. Components of the Adobe Photoshop window. There are mainly 5 powerful components of Photoshop that will help you get your desired photo. These components are Menu bar, Option bar, Toolbox, Drawing Canvas, Palettes. Menu bar. It is the basic component containing options such as File, Edit, Image, Layer, Select, Filter, View, Window and Help. Options bar. It controls the contextual options for the various tools. It also contains the Workspace menu where we can save and load the arrangements of palettes. Toolbox. It is the main component of Photoshop and includes all the useful photo editing tools like Selection tool, Move tool, Crop tool, Brush tool, Pen tool, Eraser tool, etc. Drawing Canvas. It is present in the center of the Photoshop window where all the photo editing takes place. The photo you want to edit will open in this Drawing Canvas window where you can edit it with the help of the various tools available in Photoshop. Palettes. Each pane that carries options for working with your file in Photoshop is known as palette, also known panel. It floats on the right-hand side of the Photoshop window. Each palette is tagged with a tab and can be minimized, closed, grouped with other palettes or dragged in and out of a panel dock available in Photoshop. Photoshop Toolbox. The Photoshop Toolbox is the most important user interface that comes with this complex program and includes the primary tools to work with graphics. These include the tools that let you select, paint, draw, sample, edit, move, annotate, and view images. Some other tools in the toolbox allow you to change the foreground or background colors. Overview of the tools. To view the name of a tool button, hold your mouse pointer over the tool you want to see, and the name will appear as a tool tip. Some tool buttons have multiple tools combined into one button. Tool buttons with multiple tools have a small triangle in the lower right-hand corner of the tool button. Right-click and hold the button to view the alternate tools. Now, let's understand these tools. The marquee tools make rectangular, elliptical, single row and single column selections. The Move tool moves selections, layers and guides. The lasso tools make freehand, polygonal, straight-edged and magnetic snap to selections. The Magic Wand tool selects similarly colored areas. The Crop tool trims images. The Slice tool creates slices. Slices allow you to split a large image in Photoshop so that it can be loaded quickly on the internet. The Spot Healing Brush tool removes blemishes and other imperfections in your photos by sampling pixels from around the retouched area. The Healing Brush tool repairs imperfections in a selected area of an image using a selected sample or pattern. The Patch tool, like the Healing Brush tool, matches the texture, lighting, and shading of the sampled pixels to the source pixels. You can also use the Patch tool to clone isolated areas of an image. The Red Eye tool fixes red eyes with one click. You can also set the options to adjust pupil size and darkening amount. The Brush tool paints brush strokes. The Pencil tool paints hard-edged strokes. The Color Replacement tool replaces specific colors in your image. You can paint over a targeted color with a corrective color. The Clone Stamp tool paints with a sample of an image. The Pattern Stamp tool paints using part of an image as a pattern. The History Brush tool paints a copy of the selected state or snapshot into the current image window. The Art History Brush tool paints with stylized strokes that simulate the look of different paint styles using a selected state or snapshot. The Eraser tool erases pixels and restores parts of an image to a previously saved state. The Background Eraser tool erases areas to transparency. The Magic Eraser tool erases solid-colored areas to transparency with a single click. The Gradient tool creates straight line, radial, angle, reflected, and diamond blends between colors. The Paint Bucket tool fills similarly colored areas with the foreground color. The Blur tool blurs the hard edges in an image. The Sharpen tool sharpens the soft edges in an image. The Smudge tool smudges data in an image. The Dodge tool lightens areas in an image. The Burn tool darkens areas in an image. The Sponge tool changes the color saturation of an area. The Path Selection tools make shape or segment selections showing anchor points, direction lines, and direction points. The Type tool creates type on an image or selections in the shape of type. The Pen tool lets you draw smooth-edged paths. The Custom Shape tool makes customized shapes selected from a custom shape list. The Notes tool, N, and the Audio Annotation tool, N, allow you to add notes and audio annotations, a note or comment anywhere on a Photoshop image canvas. When you create a note, a resizable window appears for typing text. When you record an audio annotation, you must have a microphone plugged into the audio in port of your computer. The Eyedropper tool samples any color in an image and sets the foreground color to it. The Color Sampler tool samples colors in an image and records them for reference. The Hand tool moves an image within its window. The Zoom tool magnifies and reduces the view of an image. Creating a new document in Photoshop CS3. When you are ready to start creating your own artwork and graphics from scratch, you create a new document in Photoshop. You can create a new document in Photoshop by following these steps. Click File and select New or press the Ctrl+N keys from the keyboard. Select the attributes for the new file in the New dialog box. The various attributes are discussed below. Name. Type a name for your file. Preset. From the drop-down list, you can select from a number of different sizes. Size. You can select a preset size from a long drop-down list. This is optional because you can change the file attributes in the other text boxes and drop-down menus. Dimensions, width or height. Values in the width and height text boxes can be edited without affecting the other Adjacent to the values in the width and height text boxes, you find drop-down menus that offer many different options for units of measure. Resolution. The resolution is an independent value and isn't linked to the dimensions. Color mode. You have 3 choices: bitmap, grayscale, and RGB color. Background contents. You have 3 choices: white, background color, and transparent. The selection you make results in the color of the blank image. Image size. This value, displayed in the lower right corner of the new dialog box, dynamically changes when you change the width, height, and resolution values. The reported value is how much file space is required to save the uncompressed file. Saving a file. We use the Save As command to save files in the PSD format, as well as other common formats like JPEG and PNG. To save a file in Photoshop, follow these steps. With the image open in Photoshop, select the file, Save As options. The Save As dialog box will appear. Type the desired file name, then choose a location for the file. Click the Format menu, then choose the desired file format. Click the Save button. Cool fact: if you have already saved your project as a PSD file, you can select File, Save, or press Ctrl+S to save the changes you make in your file at any time. Saving options. When saving a file in Photoshop, you have several options and file formats to choose from. PSD. This is the default file type for Photoshop documents, although you won't necessarily use it for every image. It will save your layers and all of the other information in your image so you can easily re-edit it later. PSD files are designed to be opened in Photoshop, so if you want to share the image with others, you'll also need to save a copy of the image in a common file format like JPEG. Common file formats. You can save images in a variety of common file types, including JPEG and PNG. These file formats can be viewed and edited on almost any computer or mobile device, which makes them well suited for sharing with others. However, unlike PSD files, these formats aren't as useful if you plan to continue editing the file, and they also can't preserve layer information. Save for web. If you are planning to upload an image to the web, like on a blog or website, you should use the Save for Web feature. This feature allows you to save images that are optimized for the web, which will make them easier to download and view online. Save for Web also includes several helpful features for preparing images for the web, including the option to resize images.